If you like our content, please support us on Patreon. The link is below. Thank you, Suchart, and all the other patrons for being so generous with helping out our channel. Welcome to the Twisted Tentacle Inn. I am your innkeeper, Vase Odin, and today we'll be talking about Intrepid. Forbidden. An often ignored and overlooked card, Intrepid made me scratch my head when I first saw it. The skill card has a willpower pip and can be found in the Heart of the Elders Mythos pack. It reads, if this skill test is successful, add Intrepid to your player area as an asset with the text, you get +1 intellect, +1 agility, and +1 combat. Forced, at the end of the round, discard Intrepid. So, if the willpower test you commit it to is successful, you'll get a +1 to pretty much all your stats except for willpower for the entire round. There are a few traditional combo cards in the game, and this is definitely one of them. By that I mean that this card works best when combined with the benefits of other cards to pull off amazing rounds. Because of its nature, the first thing you may want to consider when adding this card to your deck is what you wish to accomplish with its ability. Are you planning on saving it for a big round against a boss enemy? Then go ahead and pack a card that allows you to take a willpower test on demand. Or are you going to hold it until the right moment and powering through a big round regardless of what your goal for the round is? Then make sure to pack cards that will maximize your actions for that round, or cards that will help improve on the card's already decent benefit. Or pack cards that boost willpower and ensure the special effect of the card fires off. For example, Guardians generally have average willpower scores and do have a few cards that can get their willpower to above average levels, allowing this card to more efficiently trigger its effect. Cards like Police Badge from the Core Set or Father Xavier from the Miskatonic Museum Mythos pack. Also, the level 2 Bandolier from the Return to the Dunwich Legacy expansion. All of these cards grant a static +1 bonus to willpower, and that can definitely help you pass the test required in order for the additional benefits of Intrepid to kick in. Unlike most other skill cards, because Intrepid is a combo card, you don't generally want to commit it to a willpower test that you're just hoping to pass. Generally, Intrepid is one of those cards where you want to commit it to a test that you're almost guaranteed to pass. Because of the additional benefits that you'll get from it, it is infinitely better to overcommit to a test using Intrepid than commit it to a test that you're maybe going to fail or maybe succeed on. I hope that's clear. If it's not clear, leave your question in the comments and I hope I can clarify that for you. Now, what makes this card complex to use is that unless you're a mystic, willpower tests are usually reactive. It's a defensive stat, generally, which it's both a benefit and a hindrance for this card. A strategy is to ensure that you can benefit from this by having a teammate go first and have them initiate a willpower test that you can commit the card to. This is easy if you have a mystic in your group, or you can commit it to someone else's test during the Mythos phase, or you can even combine it with Leadership, a skill card from the Where Doom Awaits Mythos pack, to grant a bonus of +4 willpower to someone's test, and you'll gain the benefits of having a +1 to your stats because of this card for your full turn. But is a +1 to most skills for a turn really that helpful? Well, if you plan properly, it most certainly can be, especially if you're playing solo, because you'll probably be making use of more than one stat in a round. But what really makes this card a sleeping powerhouse is its combo potential. Let's look at some investigators and some cards that can help maximize Intrepid. Schizo Tool. The king of boss killers becomes a monster. Pack Leo DeLuca for an extra action and add any number of cards that grant you extra actions from either the Guardian class or from the Rogue class, such as Police Badge, Ace of Rods from the Circle Undone Deluxe expansion, Borrowed Time from the Shattered Aeons Mythos pack, Ace in the Hole from the Where Doom Awaits Mythos pack, Swift Reflexes from the Wages of Sin Mythos pack, as well as Skid's own ability to gain an extra action by spending 2 resources. Commit Intrepid to a test and include double or nothing and quick thinking. If you pack 2 copies of Intrepid, you'll really go nuts. Pass the test and you're effectively at +4 to all stats, except for willpower, and quick thinking with double or nothing gets you 2 free actions. Use any of the above mentioned cards and abilities, and you'll have a ton of actions at +4 to all stats except for willpower. Pretty amazing. Tony Morgan. Similar to Skids, but he can't use police badge. But that's okay. Tony has better fight value, and his big bonus can help him gather clues and evade bosses that have retaliate. Skids, Leo Anderson, and Tony can take a swig off their Tennessee Sour Mash to ensure success on their treachery, or they can use Liquid Courage to trigger a willpower test on command. Rogues with Guardian access and Guardians with Rogue access can maximize the combo potential of this card. Jim Culver can use this card to great effect, and of all the investigators who can take this card, is probably the one who can get the most consistent willpower test. He is a mystic though, so being mostly dependent on one stat means that his decks probably won't want this card, except for some very specific builds. All the Guardians and William Yorick can pack the Police Badge and Ace of Rods. Although not as potent as the Rogue combos, getting more actions on a turn where your stats are boosted is always a good strategy. Combined with Keen Eye, this can lead to a really solid round on high probability of success on most tests. Diana Stanley can eventually have pretty high willpower. Zoe Samaras and Carolyn Fern have good willpower, so they can generally pass their willpower test pretty easily by committing Intrepid and get the benefits from it. Teams with Seekers can pack Guidance, allowing the Guardian who commits this card to gain even more actions with boosted stats. So, is Intrepid a good card? In most decks, I would take a pass on Intrepid. Its use is very situational, and because of its combo nature, you generally want to take at least a few cards that interact well with it in order to help maximize the benefits. In other words, you kind of have to build around it. Willpower is often a reactive stat, so don't expect to be able to maximize it during a boss fight unless you plan ahead and have ways to trigger willpower tests on command. The fact that it requires a willpower test to trigger means that you're at the mercy of a random card pool, unless you have ways to force the willpower test, such as playing Liquid Courage or having a Mystic in your group. But its benefits can be quite good, and decks that are built around it can be fun once you pull off your combo. So what do you guys think about Intrepid? Let me know. And that does it for today's video on Intrepid. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them down there in the comments below. As always, I'm your innkeeper, Vase Odin from the Twisted Tentacle Inn. Check in anytime. I'll talk to you then.